Hello. Hello. Today I'll be showing you how to build the Mini Electronic Transparent Stereo Sound Amplifier, or speaker for short. This tool can play music and facilitate time travel. After assembling the speaker, I'll demonstrate how we can go back in time. I'll be switching to a light box using inverse reactive current for use in unilateral phase tractors. Thus, I can synchronize the cardinal to achieve a 16:9 aspect ratio. Obviously. Here's what we will need: the speaker kit, which is available from Amazon, 6337 solder, wire strippers, wire cutters, tweezers, a screwdriver, a soldering iron, and of course, soldering experience. If you don't already know how to solder, you have no business going back in time. Some optional parts are a circuit board holder and some tape. Now while soldering, avoid touching the end of the soldering iron because it will be very hot. And so we start the assembly of the circuit board with the integrated circuits. Solder the power amplifier integrated circuit on the back of the circuit board at U1. Then flip the board over and solder the KA2284 voltage level indicator at U2. Now take out the resistors and solder the 10K ohm resistors at R2 and R4. Then solder the 22K ohm resistor at R1. Finally, solder the 330 ohm resistor at R3. We can now start soldering the capacitors. The capacitors are polarized, meaning that they must be soldered in the proper direction. Failure to do so may result in damage to the capacitor and/or the circuit board. On the circuit board, the negative lead of the capacitor goes into the shaded portion of the capacitor marking. So first, solder the 1 microfarad capacitors at C3, C4, and C5. Next, solder the 10 microfarad capacitors at C2 and C6. Finally, solder the 470 microfarad capacitor at C1. With the capacitor soldered, we can begin soldering the LEDs. Similar to the capacitors, the LEDs are polarized, meaning they must be placed in the proper direction. The longer lead of the LED is the positive lead. On a circuit board, the positive lead is placed in a hole marked with a plus sign. Solder the green LEDs at D1, D2, and D3. Solder the yellow LED at D4. Next, solder the red LED at D5. Now we can solder the potentiometers. Solder the 50K ohm potentiometer at RP1. Solder the 10K ohm potentiometer at RP2. Now we can solder the speaker to the circuit board. The kit only provides one red wire and one black wire, and so cut each wire in half. Then take one of the red wires and strip off each ends. Then solder one end of the red wire to the positive lead on the speaker. Repeat this for the black wire, but instead solder one end of the black wire to the negative lead on the speaker. Now repeat this for the other speaker. Now take the red wire from the speaker and solder that to the plus V0. Now solder the black wire from the speaker to the negative V0 on the circuit board. Repeat these steps for the other circuit board and speaker. Now that completes the assembly of the circuit board. We are given 3 cables: a USB cable, a 3-core cable, and a 4-core cable. The 3-core cable has 3 smaller wires, while the 4-core cable has 4 smaller wires. Strip both ends of the 4-core cable and the 3-core cable. Then cut the DC plug off the end of the USB cable. We will now make the connections for the first circuit board. Twist the red wire from the USB cable and the red wire from the 4-core cable together. Solder this into the plus 5 volts. Now twist the white wire from the USB and the black wire from the 4-core cable together. Solder this into the ground on the circuit board. Now twist the yellow wires from the 4-core and 3-core cables together. Solder this into the in positive. Now solder the red wire from the 3-core cable into the middle pad. Twist the green wire from the 4-core cable and the black wire from the 3-core cable together. and solder this into N negative. We can now work on the other board, which uses the other end of the 4-core cable. Solder the red wire to plus 5 volts. Solder the black wire to ground. Solder the yellow wire to N positive. Solder the green wire to N negative. Now that completes the circuit boards. We can now make the audio plug. So first, unscrew the audio plug. Then solder the red wire from the 3-core cable to the smaller prong of the audio plug. Then solder the yellow cable from the 3-core cable to the other prong of the audio plug. Lastly, solder the black wire from the 3-core cable to the crimp. Now we can begin the final assembly. There's a side with 4 small holes. These holes are for the standoffs. Use the standoffs to raise the circuit board off the surface. Then screw the circuit board onto the standoffs, and repeat this for the other circuit board. For the speaker itself, there's a side with a large hole, and you want to screw the speaker onto those sides, and repeat this for both speakers. Now for the sides, just match the notches with each other, and that's it. The speaker's finished, and we can now go back in time. The algorithm needs to be entered quickly, so try to keep up. I will now hack the space-time continuum. Oh no! We didn't go back in time, but at least we made this awesome speaker.
We need some